Predator 6 is on the horizon and it's set to blow your mind. The original Prey was a smashing success and the cast is eager for the sequel. The legal hurdles are cleared and Disney is all set to take this iconic franchise to new heights. In this video, we'll dive into the latest developments and what you can expect from the upcoming Prey 2, also known as Predator 6. Prey didn't slam the door shut on a sequel, even though it wrapped things up like Naru taking down the feral predator. Those end credits animations were hinting at what's coming next. You've got the villagers and Naru gazing at the sky, and bam, 3 more predator ships rolling just like when the feral predator first crashed the party. It seems like these predators are here for a couple of reasons, probably to scoop up their fallen comrade's body and gear, or maybe to get some payback for his defeat. Now, having a whole predator squad take on a small Native American village might sound like they're going way overboard, but you know, predators have this honor code thing going on, so they might want to even the odds somehow. They could bring in some less fancy predator gear, or maybe just send a handful of them to fight. And you can bet that Naru is stepping up her game, getting the villagers ready for this showdown. She's on her way to becoming a legit leader for her tribe, all respected and battle-hardened. Alright, so here's the lowdown on Prey 2. It's about uncovering the backstory of that mysterious 1715 Raphael Adolini flintlock pistol given to Lieutenant Harrigan at the end of Predator 2. Back in the day, there was a comic called Predator 1718 that spilled the beans on the pistol's origins, but Prey decided to shake things up and say it originally belonged to a French trapper, not a pirate captain. Naru got her hands on this pistol from the French guy and used it to deliver a painful headshot to the feral predator, and she's been holding on to it ever since. Now, in Prey 2, they're gonna dig into how this pistol ended up with the greyback elder predator. It's possible that young greyback is one of the predators rolling in with those 3 ships that we saw at the end, although it seems like he's part of a different Yautja clan given the noticeable differences in anatomy between feral and greyback. Maybe we're in for a showdown between these 3 different clans, and Naru gets caught in the middle. She might end up losing the pistol to Greyback, but for her it's not such a big deal. She's more focused on making sure her tribe survives, not collecting fancy predator trophies. Now when it comes to the cast and crew for Prey 2, we've got some good news. Both our lead actress, Amber Midthunder, and our director, Dan Trachtenberg, are totally up for making a comeback. They had a blast working on the first one, and they're all fired up for the sequel. In fact, Amber Midthunder spilled the beans in a January 2023 interview, saying they're in talks with the director and itching to dive back into the action. Now, even though the feral predator met its end, don't count on Dan DiLiegro just yet. He could easily suit up as another predator. Plus, we've still got Naru's mother, Aruka, and the war chief, Gehitu, who both made it through the first round and could easily return for round 2. And let's not forget Studio ADI, the masterminds behind the slick Predator suits and effects. They've been crushing it in all of the recent Predator flicks, so it's a no-brainer that they should be back for the sequel. Now let's talk about some more storylines that Predator can explore. Cowboys versus Predator. When it comes to the Western and Samurai film connection, it's like a big old Venn diagram of films like Seven Samurai, turning into the Magnificent Seven, and the way both genres left their fingerprints all over Star Wars. Now, I get it, some folks might think mixing Predators with a Wild West feels a tad too much like Cowboys and Aliens, but there's some real potential for the Predator franchise in that dusty frontier. First off, the Wild West offers a fresh backdrop, setting it apart from the rest of the Predator stories. Cowboys, those mythic heroes from pop culture, have been riding through the imaginations of folks for generations. They were the very symbol of heroism, but flicks like Once Upon a Time in the West, The Wild Bunch, and Unforgiven peeled away the glamour to show the gritty, often brutal history of the American frontier. Imagine pitting the Predator against the iconic image of the American cowboy, only to peel back the layers and reveal the dark side of the frontier, with its treatment of Native Americans and other minorities. In many ways, it flips the script, making the Predator more of an anti-hero. The Predator becomes like a force of karmic justice as the Wild West pushes back and the cowboys' peace is shattered, realizing their old-school weapons can't hold a candle to the Predator's advanced tech. Knight Templar versus Predator. The Templars, those medieval warrior monks who served the Catholic Church, played a significant role in spreading Christianity during the Crusades. They've always been shrouded in mystery, and there have been all sorts of theories floating around suggesting they were keepers of religious relics like the Holy Grail and the Shroud of Turin. Heck, the Da Vinci Code even whipped up conspiracy theories, claiming the Templar Knights had the inside scoop on all the church's secrets before they were disbanded. Now picture this, these knights were known for their guts and strength, which would make them prime prey for predators. If you buy into the idea that the Templars were blessed by God with supernatural abilities, like some conspiracy theorists do, they might just be a formidable challenge for the extraterrestrial hunters and their high-tech gear. It'd be a real head-scratcher to pit one conspiracy against another, with these secretive knights going up against aliens, seeing how their stories might overlap. The Nazis versus Predator. You're onto something there. Nobody's a fan of Nazis, so having them face off against Predators in a World War II setting could be a real crowd pleaser. Somewhere in that wartime period from 1939 to 1945, with all the chaos and devastation going on, most viewers would be cheering for the Predators and eagerly awaiting some seriously gruesome takedowns. And if you want to throw in a twist of a wounded Predator teaming up with one of the Allied armies, well, that's just the icing on the cake. We've seen something like that before in the 2004 film Alien vs. Predator, where a Predator formed an alliance with a human who saved its life. Of course, World War II was a horrific time for many countries, so this kind of story would need to be handled with great care and sensitivity. But there's definitely potential here for a kind of catharsis, watching Predators turn from movie monsters into straight-up heroes by taking down a bunch of Nazis in brutal fashion. Predator vs. Vikings. Instead of sticking with a Native American storyline, why not throw it back to a different time? How about some Predators going up against the mighty Vikings? People are totally into this concept, and it takes us way back to the 18th century. There are already some stories about Predators in this era, like the one in Skald's Keep from that awesome Predator If It Bleeds book. And get this, there's even a Viking Predator in the Predator Hunting Grounds video game. He's got this whole lore about pretending to be a Viking god while hunting the toughest Viking warriors. It's pretty cool. There was also this fan-made idea called Predator Valhalla, but it got shelved due to some money issues. But the notion of a lone predator taking on Vikings is super interesting and definitely worth exploring, maybe in a future movie. So what are your thoughts on the possible settings for future Predator movies like Predators vs. Pirates, Predators vs. Samurai, or Predators vs. Vikings? Which one excites you the most, or do you have another setting in mind? And of course, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all the thrilling news about the Predator franchise. We can't wait to hear your thoughts, and we'll catch you in the next video.